their side since minute 15. It has been about 12 minutes or so of full bounties, and Fuel has somehow lost 3 objectives.
I think, again, it's overall, I think now maybe Fuel has gotten a little comfortable with their styles and they're kind of why they're doing these reckless plays. Maybe for Zen, if they want to be tanky, do what I do with Misfortune and build into tank items.
No. Zen is probably the main damage for the side of Fuel here. You don't need more tankiness, you just need to position better. He can position really well into the comp of Albany. Sure, they have that J4, but with his flash being back up, he should be under no threat. It should not be possible for Zan to die here. So we're going to be looking towards the Baron as Fuel's going to be clearing more vision around this Baron. They're going to want to look for a pick before this Baron. You can see Marshall and Ollie both positioning slightly in the fog of war, looking for this Jarvan to maybe overextend. The vision control on the side of Fuel is immaculate, able to control it, knowing exactly where Albany is going to be moving at all points. See the Scryer's Bloom popped for Marshall. They're going to keep clearing these wards on Baron, trying to keep as much vision off of this, so maybe they could get a sneak onto it. They're not the fastest take. 2 of the slower AD carries. The Cocoon not going to do much. Just a little bit of a deterrent. And just going to be a bit of a stall as the only thing on the map is going to be this Baron. Fuel's going to keep them pushing these waves. They're waiting for Albany to overstep, look for a pick, and able to capitalize, because as soon as one person at Albany falls, they're going to be able to get this Baron, and that is where the attention is.
So currently, if a fight happens, who's the priority target for Fuel? Like, to target
Syndra.
Syndra
Syndra is the only character. Syndra and Ziggs is actually quite strong now randomly, but Syndra and Ziggs are the only characters on the side.
Here we go.
Albany are strong, but at the same time, any pick is a good pick. Galio thinking he's tanky, though he is still a 0-10 Galio with only 1 item and has no MR, so he's not going to be able to survive the damage of Marshall. Ollie doing a lot of max damage as well. Craig, the Jarvan, going to have to probably play for a bit of a steal here. Might be the only option, but Fuel knows where he is. Going to be able to deter him. Probably going to be able to cocoon a mid thing, but
Mom inbound.
The whole play here is going to be a steal, but Fuel is not going to let him in on it. Except for the fact that Boo's going to keep poking, but Zig's going to be falling. You see Craig in the pit, but Craig's going to be falling low. 30. It went to 9 damage. Ollie not hitting the smite that he needed to, but Boo's going to be able to collect it with that burn that he has because of that 225 stacks on this boulder. I assume he has 225 at least. If he doesn't, I feel like he should be reported. But you see HDK and Marshall will be shredding through the health bars of the rest of Albany. He's going to be stalling, but actually this Aatrox coming back into the game, able to get that kill onto Marshall, though HK is going to keep pushing him away as you see Fuel pushing into the base of Albany. Should be able to end the game off of this with the Baron. Galio's going to fall as well to Ollie, getting his 11th kill of the game. 24 KP for this Sejuani, 11 of which have been kills. A 13,000 gold Sejuani. Will be full build if he bases, but Fuel is just going to look to try to end. Actually, only Boo seems to know what the objective is. Zan going to be walking into the melee range of another character. Zan just keep on thinking he is as tanky as Ollie is, but I mean, sure, it's open. Next is now for Albany, but the turrets do respawn after about, I think it's 3 minutes. So it's not curtains yet. The big shutdown for Ollie's shutdown is going to be finally falling. His first death of the game. Zan going to be falling again. HJK actually lost the side trade onto the Aatrox. He tried to chase the Aatrox to stall, but he didn't win the matchup. And now we're seeing Drake in a minute, and now this Fuel has to stop Albany from getting this Drake because this is Soul.
Yeah, and overall, this is it. Albany has one final stand right now. Albany needs some grace tactic to break through the onslaught that Fuel is putting down. And looking at the stats and the items, everything is in Fuel's favor. It is going to come down to one member or multiple members of Fuel overstepping so horribly that it just gives Albany a strong opening.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, we've seen that happen about 6 different times from Zan all of his death. He does love to do a little bit of overstepping, a little bit of trolling, if you will. But I think at this point, Fuel should just be in a position where they shouldn't be able to lose, shouldn't be able to get picked. Though Zan has no sums, so he has to play a little bit further back, as the Jarvan does have his ultimate. The Ziggs has his ultimate. The Galio has his ultimate. Syndra has her flash ultimate. There were so many things, but Fuel's just going to keep on pushing these waves in. If they keep pushing the base of Albany, Albany can't go towards this Drake. But Marshall's going to be extremely chunked. The Glacial Prison's going to go extremely wide by Ollie. The slow, though, is doing a lot of damage. And I think HDK is kind of just ignoring the entire fight, trying to just kill the Nexus, but you already see Zan fall. Boom, going to be falling shortly after. Ollie, though, I think might be able to kill the Drake, or the Nexus before it falls. The Zig Satchel coming out, the Scatter of the Weak. He's not going to be able to end, and that's a colossal throw by Fuel. You're going to be seeing them. They decide they wanted to play for the end, ignore the fight, but HDK not able to do the damage. Ollie not able to do the damage. That's going to be Soul, Chemtech Soul going over to UALBANY, and Fuel is just throwing their lead away because they're not being patient. They're not positioning correctly. They're not playing their comp how they have to be. Every fight they've won has been a fight where they've been outplaying Albany, but Albany has just been playing better around these Drake objectives, around this latest fights. You know, they saw a pretty good fight around the Baron as well, and now the gold lead is still going to be 6K. You know, it's still not the easiest win for Albany, but if anything can do it, you're going to be seeing these turrets respawn very shortly. Inhib's going to be respawning very shortly, and Fuel can be losing that Chemtech Soul. If you're Fuel, you really don't want this game to go down to this Elder. This game should end with... This game should have been over 10 minutes ago.
Like, ultimately?
This game should have been over 10 minutes ago. Fuel overstepped way too much, got picked in completely random situations, threw 4 Drakes in the garbage. Maybe only one should be falling. That first Ocean Drake, I understand. The second Drake, Zan walked up for fun. The third Drake, Zan walked up for fun. The fourth Drake, they threw for fun. You know, it's just not exactly what you need from Fuel. You know, Fuel coming into this game looking extremely prominent, extremely clean in that early game, but not able to close out these games at the end of the day. Have to see if they can claw their way back, you know, get there. They are still in an extremely favorable position, though they have been slacking on the CS. You see Ziggs have a 50 CS lead. Syndra have a 40 CS lead. Top lane even, though, and mid. The only lane where you're winning on CS is Ollie, as he is the richest player in the game. Actually, no. Aatrox and Syndra are much richer than all of Fuel, weirdly enough. But,
how is that possible?
But it's because... But it doesn't matter because of how far behind this Jarvan and this Galio are, that there are strong members on Albany, and Fuel has to recognize that. This Syndra is almost 5 items, but Aatrox might be getting picked, has to use that World Ender, though the Mom and the Glacial Prison going to be going out for Fuel, but without that World Ender, he's going to have to completely back off. Fuel's going to get full prio on this Baron, but it's not going to be spawning for 30 seconds. HK's going to keep pushing these side lanes. If he forces someone to match him on side, it's favorable for Fuel.
And then, honestly, that is one of HTK's strengths, is baiting individuals into fights to allow the rest of the team to be a problem on the other end of the map. If HTK can draw one, like, look here, we might see Zan, but... Galio is moving. We might see
Galio and Aatrox
2
looking onto HDK here, exactly as you called, though that ward from HK is going to be able to spot out the Galio. But with the fact that Galio and Aatrox are bot lane, Fuel's going to be instantly turning towards this Baron, starting it, and this is exactly what they're looking for with how HDK is playing. HDK's idea on side lane is to pressure people to walk towards him, and as soon as they show, Fuel's going to capitalize, take that Baron. Marshall's going to be zoning the Jarvan, the Greg completely, and that's going to be the second Baron going over to Fuel. You know, if they don't close out with this one, the game all hope might be lost, because this should be game.
Yeah, Aatrox, what are you doing? You are so far away from the rest of your team. HTK has completely baited you.
Yeah, HTK, though, you do have to someone has to match HTK, because otherwise, if they all go towards that Baron, HTK will just end on the side lane, as there is two inhibs have both respawned, but it's still open Nexus. I don't think the turrets have respawned yet. These inhibs are quite flimsy. The only turret standing for Albany is going to be that top inhib turret, whereas Fuel, the only turret they've lost is mid-tier 1.
Yeah, it's absolutely been a brutal fight for Fuel. They may have stumbled a few times, Zan. But... they have pushed so far ahead and have put Albany in such a back burner situation that they need those mess-ups just to gain a tap at a ground. Like, look here.
Good EQ flash by Jarvan, but it's onto a Smolder who first flashes out of the EQ, and then when the ult comes out, I'm just going to flap out of here. I can fly over walls, and this is going to be a big advantage to Fuel. You're going to see Ollie already zoning 2 of the members of Albany off. You're going to see this, I assume this Galio and this Jarvan are just going to fall quite quickly. Never mind, Boo actually able to fall in the middle of the fight, but it's going to be a 2-for-1. Syndra super low, Aatrox super low, Zig super low, and the 5-item Ollie, but an insane amount of healing from that World Ender of this Aatrox. He might be able to clean up. Have to see. I think actually he can clean up, in fact.
He's still standing. The Aatrox is still standing. That's a triple. We might see a quadra.
And this is just Fuel.
But Ollie's still standing. Look at this.
He is, but Ollie's not going to win the 1-versus-1 versus the Aatrox. He's not going to be able to kill the Ziggs. That's going to be another team wipe for Fuel. Fuel is just completely falling apart at the seams at this end of this game. Unable to close out a game. Looking like there is no communication in how to play this end game. And with Elder spawning in a minute, this could be a complete turning point for Albany. Albany's already climbed their way back in this game. Somehow it's still a 5k gold lead, but at this point, gold is kind of irrelevant as everyone is kind of as much gold as they're going to be. Sure, your jungler and your support are quite weak, but who cares when your Syndra is a full build, when your Galio, when your Aatrox is a full build, when your Ziggs is a full build. You have 3 full build carries. No one on Fuel has anti-heal yet, which means that the damage from, or the healing from Aatrox is going to be absolutely astronomical, and Marshall's going to be picked off dry right before the Elder, and that might be Elder going over to Fuel, or over to Albany actually, pardon me, but I think if you're Fuel, you kind of have to play, just ignore, you don't have to ignore the Elder, but maybe you try to just push out a lane and get to maybe an end on the side, force them to recall, because if one of them has to match you, you might be able to, okay, you see HDK and Boom maybe both going for this play, but actually the pings are going to be back onto mid lane. Ollie maybe seeing a target, but with that Verdant Barrier from Syndra, the shield's going to be able to break it. The ult's going to go wide. The Misfortune ult's going to go wide. HGK is going to fall like nothing because of how much damage Albany has at this point. And it's looking like Albany might be winning this game, actually.
So, and this is something Fuel wanted to avoid. They wanted to avoid a long-term fight because now Albany has all of their champions built up to how they want.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the only character who really can outscale all of Albany is this Smolder, but Fuel really needs to get, the only anti-heal they have is the Storm Mail, which means Aatrox has to auto-attack Sejuani, which is just not going to be it, but they're just going in one by one, getting picked. Ollie's trying to go for a steal. He might be able to live with this Blast Cone, though, but he got pulled back the last second.
Hold on.
But actually, looks like Zan might be going for a bit of an end, a bit back door, but because of those turrets have respawned, it's not going to be able to take that. The Ziggs ult doing so much damage. Boo almost burning to death with that Elder, but able to just get out. The Jarvan of Albany, Craig, going to be able to just shred through the health bar. Our Marshall again. Marshall is going to fall. Ollie is fallen, and Albany is going to be pinging towards these turrets, going to be keeping on this pressure, pushing forward. And at this point, all of the lead that Fuel has pretty much gone to the wayside. The Soul from Albany doing insane work. The Aatrox doing insane work. The Syndra doing insane work. The Ziggs doing insane work. It doesn't matter if 2 of your members are weak. If all they're there for is to stun and lock up the carries of Fuel. It's going to be Inhib falling for Fuel. They're going to be continuing this siege. Ollie still has another 9 seconds on his life. Boo can't really match the damage, but Zan able to get the 1-versus-1. But what is that healing? You need anti-heal if you're the side of Fuel. And Ollie and HDK, I don't think, might not be able to end this with their own. HDK is going to get this inhib, try to look for a bit of an end as Ollie's going to keep on pushing them in, but he doesn't have a wave. He doesn't have anything to do. He's just going to get double super waves, but
them on the fallback,
Fuel is going to be able to push them back, stop this end, though actually I think looks like Albany's going to be going back in. Marshall's going to fall. Ollie, the whole play here, HDK TPing in on a flank, but I don't think this is going to do anything. He's clearing the wave. This is a great play by HDK, actually, if he gets this wave, but I don't think he can clear this super minion. What he's trying to do is stall the wave, because if they don't have a wave, Albany can't end, and Ollie's going to be able to get the rest of the wave as all of Albany chases HDK. So HDK getting the good amount of work done on his TP, but he's going to likely fall to the Aatrox damage as the Elder buff still has not expired. He auto-attacks the Galio, not the... Oh, he almost escaped with that Blast Cone, but he unfortunately auto-attacks the Galio, not the Blast Cone.
I'm scared.
It looks like, I'm going to be honest,
I'm
it looks
afraid.
so hard for Fuel at this point. They can't play any fights. Baron's probably going to go over to UALBANY. Ollie just not able to get... Ollie, just he's as strong as he's going to be, so he's just not an on-factor, and Albany's just going to keep on scaling. The only player on the side of Fuel who can do anything at this point is the Smolder, but the fact that he's still only 4 items, he's getting outranged by everyone of Albany. The Syndra stun's too threatening, so he is shredding through the health bars right now, but Ollie just... He's so squishy versus this Syndra, versus this Ziggs, with this max health damage, with this Leandri's, with this Void Staff, able to shred through the MR, and Marshall's probably going to fall as well after the repel. The flash from the Aatrox coming out. He is losing a lot of health, but Zan's going to have to flash away from Craig. It's just, there's not much Fuel can do at this point. You're going to be seeing just slowly, one by one, falling. Boo is going to be trying to push out these waves. Fuel, it's just a waiting game at this point. Fuel's just trying to stall as long as they possibly can. Stop these waves, but with no one on Fuel other than Ollie still having anti-heal, this Aatrox is just not going to be able to fall. Actually, never mind. HDK did invest in the anti-heal. Great perks by him, but I think he's just a little too squishy at this point. Going to fall, but no. He's able to escape. Great Glacial Prison by Ollie to get that peel, but it's going to be advantage for the Baron on the side of Albany. They're going to be able to push towards this Baron, and for the first time in this game, Albany has a gold lead.
And how long has this match been going for?
43, 44 minutes, and at one point there was a 15 or 13k gold lead for Fuel. And now we're at a deficit.
Insane.
Albany completely coming back in this game. I don't think Fuel's going to be able to get to this Baron in time. Actually, Ollie might be able to reach it. Does he have Flash? Ooh, not able to steal it, but this fight could go the way of Fuel, but this Aatrox has so much healing. He's just healing full HP. What is this character? Syndra with the TP in to be able to pick off the side of HDK. It's just going to be Ollie and Boo. Boo with no TP. No TP on the side of Fuel to look for an end. Aatrox can be recalling, though I don't think Albany can end on this very wave. It seems like we might be stalling a little bit harder. We might be going to this Elder fight, but as things are right now, looks like Fuel might be losing, and Boo might be getting caught out, actually, in a bit of no man's land, but that Chemtech map Blast Cone going to be able to get him out. Ollie, though, just going to be a bit on the sideline, might be getting picked off. He is tanky, but as soon as Syndra shows up, he's not as tanky. He's going to have to flash out. He's just trying to stall. He's just trying to stall the members of Albany, stop their wave push, because if they can kill the wave before it gets this Baron buff up, they might have an angle, as Albany is just going to walk forward into the base here.
Bomb inbound.
It's just not going to do enough damage at this point. Sure, he has good wave clear, but Zan's going to have to ult this wave as soon as he comes up, I think, which I assume is what he's going to do. Actually, nope, it looks like turret. They're going to be able to turret. We're going to be stalling again, but Albany's going to be looking towards this Elder, and what we saw last time when they had the Elder, they completely shredded through the health bars of Fuel.
Oh yeah, no, completely. They shredded through Fuel completely, and this is where Albany has turned the tide. It is now 42 kills on the side of Albany, while the entirety of Fuel is pushing down mid lane, while Albany is chasing them. We're going to see a team fight here. Dragon has spawned yet again, and combat is going from a minor skirmish. Is someone going to dedicate and make this a team fight? The health, though, on the side.
Boo spacing really well. Big MF ult.
Here we go.
The Galio should be able to fall, but he's actually going to kill first.
Wait.
Boo should be able to kill the Jarvan, though, so no jungle on the side of Albany, but the Aatrox is still alive, though the anti-heal from HDK is going to be on him, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They don't have enough damage onto him. And the Ziggs just going to be able to walk out. The Syndra, though, might be able to fall from the damage of HDK, but again, it's just the story of they don't have a way to beat this Aatrox at this point. Ziggs just going to be able to live. Aatrox going to be just shredding through the health bars of Ollie, and with the closest respawning target from Fuel in about 30 seconds, Albany's going to be marching their way into the base of Fuel. Ollie's going to be trying to deter this wave as much as possible, though. He can't survive forever. He can't
Oh,
even
they're
survive for
going,
very
they're
long,
going.
to be honest.
Come on, Ollie, you can make it.
Ollie
you can make
looks
it.
like he's just going to be falling.
Oh, and that's an ace.
But Zan up in 15, Marshall up in 10. It might be doable to hold this wave, hold the line for Fuel. Zan's ult's going to be coming up, but actually looks like they're not going to be able to take this. They're going to be turning their attention towards this Elder as Ollie is dead for 50 seconds. The Jarvan's respawning. This Elder should just be completely Albany favored.
Well, they're just going to waddle on over and take out that dragon. Once again, no relation to me, unfortunately. But as Albany manages to get another dragon on the board for them, do you think in any universe, is there a way for Fuel to recover from this? Or is this just playing for time and waiting for Albany to make a mistake? Because right now, Albany has just turned the tables complete 180.
It's so hard for Fuel at this point. Your only way of really winning is somehow protecting Zan and also protecting Boo, but with just the range damage of this Ziggs, of this Syndra at this point, their health bars are going to be shredding. Boo's just outranged by everyone, and he still isn't at that full build. Not been able to claim any CS, as it's just going to be more and more lead for Albany. Harder for Fuel to fight. They're just going to be keeping on clearing these waves as they are. They're stalling as long as they can. HTK on the flank. The Mom coming in, but not going to be able to do too much. Marshall probably going to get picked off here, though. Good MF ult by Zan, though that the Aatrox just going to be on the side, and with the Elder, he's going to be able to shred through the health bars. Boo might be able to survive this. He's a little out of range,
Yeah,
but
Boo's just running away.
What a character I'm looking at by Aatrox. Just able to walk at them, and with that, it's going to be only HTK alive for the side of Fuel. He's going to be attempting to clear his wave, but I think Albany can just ignore the wave at this point and just raw hit the turrets. They're that strong, and I think the game might be going over to Albany after a incredible early game by Fuel, but just throw after throw after throw after throw and not able to clear it up. Galio is going to be falling here, but I don't think Aatrox will. It seems like
Aatrox doesn't care.
No,
he could care less.
With this, it's going to be the first game going over to UALBANY in a 49-minute game. An insane comeback from them, coming back from 15K roughly gold lead. An insane turn of events, and that is
game one going to Albany.
Oh, wow. I don't really know what to say at that point. That was a insane turn of events for Albany. Just everything going their way. Aatrox getting back in the game, able to tear through the health bars and not enough anti-heal on the side of Fuel. You see Ziggs and Syndra scaling into their own, able to outrange all of the damage of Fuel. The Smolder not able to do too much. The MF just impossible to press ultimate after a little bit with that Jarvan, with that Galio walking at you, with that Aatrox walking at you. It's just impossible.
It's that was a fight. That was a fight. Fuel at it from the start to the middle, and then those throws. There was a little bit, then they had the advantage. The Albany's Nexus was holding on with flex tape.
It was like one. It was one HP
It was
at
like
one point.
it was
Yeah,
one shot. They held on by flex tape and doornails, and Albany just said, "Yeah, no, we're not done. I didn't hear a bell. You're done."
And that's the strength. That's the thing that's new with this specific newest update of League, right? This newest season. The fact that the turrets do respawn. If you have that open Nexus, you're not as threatened. It's not like Fuel could look for a backdoor as easily because of the respawning turrets. They have to push a wave there. They have to get something in. Because otherwise, if there were no turrets respawning, HTK probably could have ended that game.
Probably.
10 minutes ago.
Probably HTK could have won it. But then you saw Aatrox, like, the Galio died. Aatrox couldn't care. He was getting hit by turrets. He didn't care. Aatrox just walked, and everything was hitting him, and you might as well have just been hitting him with Nerf darts.
Yeah,
he did not care in the slightest.
That Aatrox completely took over the game, completely 1v9'd on the side of Albany, but as well, I mean, the mid laner and the AD carry doing their great job. But
so what will be your estimate going into game 2? What should Fuel's strategy be to not have a botch like that again?
I don't think there's a strategy of what happened. I think they merely just, had a bit of a rough game, had some rough positioning errors later on in the game. But, I mean, we'll have to see going into the next game. And as we wait for that game to be starting, we're going to cut to break.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I bust soon, soon. Know as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my broom, vroom. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom.
And we are back here with game two. UAlbany on the left, Fuel on the right. Already bans going out. Albany taking the Caitlyn and the Ezreal out of play, while Fuel takes Aatrox and another out of play. And already the bans going for a very... Albany wants to get rid of any range supports and anything that will really do magic resistance, any damages. Fuel, however, will be going for... They definitely want to get rid of those tanks. That is the objective currently for Fuel, I believe. They want to get rid of those tanks. They want to focus on prioritizing targets. They're getting rid of that Ziggs and that Aatrox, which is a very strong play, as they were extreme problems in the first game. So already Fuel has adapted, and Albany for their first pick is going for a Wukong, which will be very strong. Already Fuel is going to try and probably go for a counter, maybe bring out, because Misfortune is still on the table, so Zam might go for Misfortune once again. It might be a similar composition to game one, but Fuel might be talking. They might have done some communications on the quick break. They might have something else cooking. For Albany, they might do something similar, because it is standard draft. It is not fearless. They can pick the same champions as last game, as proven by the Misfortune being the selection. Already on the second pick, waiting again. They are probably going to stick to what they did. It was just a matter of overcommitting, just some unfortunate Bosch plays, overcommitting, pushing through. The Belveth coming in, that will be very unique. So probably going for a ranged plus magic damage with some stun locking, which will be really good. If they can do group stuns, overall and get some good concentration, that might allow for Fuel to push on an assault to get rid of those chances for Albany to do something like what they did in game two. And now Albany going for the Varus for their second pick.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a bit of an adaptation from both sides' drafts. You see Ollie deciding to go for a bit more of a carry play style jungler, deciding for that Belveth. Bit more aggressive, bit more, able to make those plays, especially with how fed he was. He could actually carry the game on this type of pick. But Albany going to be going for quite a meta comp. Wukong very well considered to be one of the best junglers in the game. Varus considered to be one of the best AD carries in the game. I expect probably a power mid here again. Or just a support. Yeah, Rakan's a good pick as well.
You should see the also the Fuel ban picks. They took out Ziggs, Aatrox, and I unfortunately don't know the third profile. But already the strategy for the bans going into Fuel side, they really took a play out of Game 1's book and banned some really decent champs.
Yeah, and Fuel just rotating through some of the ranged Enchanter support. You saw the Lulu, you saw the Karma, you saw the Janna. All these characters have pretty good value into the lane of Varus, Rakan, but they're just going to go for the Karma, hopefully able to match the poke of the Varus and the Rakan, able to match that lane, and hopefully get some shields onto your Bel'Veth, onto your Misfortune, able to peel a little bit better than that Elise, as we'll have to see. As we go into the bans, Fuel going to be taking off that Syndra off the table. Yeah, great adaptation. Same as for the bans, right? You saw the Aatrox and the Ziggs ban signing. We don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I expect last ban here to be a Cassante on the side of Fuel, because they did not ban. They banned it last game and they have not banned it yet. And I don't think they want to fight against that character unless HDK has something planned. Though every time he said he has something planned, it does not work. So we'll have to see as we go. As we see the Scion mid ban against Boo, he put on a bit of a show for that character last week, I guess.
Oh yeah,
right? But
absolutely. That laser was always fun to watch just go across the screen.
we'll have to see how. I don't know. He played Scion, but
they're banning the Galio.
yeah, okay, the Galio ban, and actually, UALBANY could be banning the Cassante themselves now. I don't know who that's for because HDK doesn't play it and Boo doesn't play it.
Yeah,
so,
no, they never. Gazante was even played last game.
No. Well, it was banned. It was banned by Fuel round 1.
Yeah, it was banned.
But
by
now
Fuel.
Albany's banning it, but none of Fuel play it is the problem. So this is a bit of. Also, there is a chance that this Karma could also be mid lane. It is kind of a flex, but I expect it more to be support.
So could the Gazante be a throwaway ban?
No. They're banning Cassante because it's a good character. I just don't know if they know because neither of our players play it. But you see the Ahri going to be coming in.
Ahri
The Bel'Veth
coming out,
Ahri
okay.
can be able to make a lot of magic happen in the mid lane and the jungle. Should be able to pressure a lot.
And with this pressure from Ahri, so Ahri, Karma, Bel'Veth, and Misfortune, whoever the fifth and final pick is, what's kind of the attack and defense composition for this? What can we kind of see in regards to combat with this composition?
So Ahri's going to be playing for these charms, playing for these flank angles to get those stuns. We're seeing Bel'Veth going to be going for also probably some flanks for looking for these resets on her ultimate, as she does do a lot of AoE damage with that. But you see Albany going to be taking the Sylas off the table here. Good pick into Ahri, as Ahri ult gives you 3 dashes. So Sylas usually enjoys that type of ultimate, though none of the other ultimates are one of his best. I mean, Karma ult still always has some value. You can put a big shield on your team, you can get some healing, or you can do a little bit of damage. But the shield one's definitely where it shines. But as we see Albany closing out their draft with the top lane pick, I expect a bit more of maybe a top lane. Could be also a bruiser. They could go for like a Renekton themselves.
No,
but
they're going for the old guy with a
Jax.
lamp.
Ooh, okay. Jax actually has a lot of. It's a bit of it's a good pick, but doesn't do as much into the Ahri or the Karma. And MF ult doesn't get blocked by his E, but it's really good into the Bel'Veth, and it's probably pretty good into MF anyways. I think you can just jump on him most of the time. So see how Fuel decides to respond to this, and it might be HGK's tried and true Olaf. Oh, no,
okay.
Even more of an HDK tried and true pick. The Fior. Okay, no, we're just playing Garen. Never mind, we're just playing Garen. he doesn't play this. It's not a tried and true pick. He's just playing Garen.
He's just playing Garen. Just play Garen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he knows how to play Garen. Character's not that hard.
That is true.
We'll have to see how.
Play him.
Yeah. We'll have to see how HK decides to pilot this Garen. Not the most traditional competitive character, as he doesn't provide as much utility as some of these top laners, doesn't provide as much tankiness. He's kind of a one-trick pony, but they're always those are always valuable. And the shut he does pretty good into the side lane of Jax and can shred through the health bars of this Varus. And actually, all of UALBANY they're quite a squishy team comp. Unless this Jax goes the tank Jax build.
I mean, tank jacks can be brutal as someone who dabbled in that. But already, that is a strong competition from both sides. You got Misfortune, Belveth, Karma, Ari, and Garen versus Wukong, Varus. I can't read
Rakan.
the text. Rakan. That's tiny text.
Silas and
Silas
Jax.
and Jax. That's a very unique composition for both sides compared to game one.
Fuel's comp looks like something I'd see in solo queue, and Albany's comp looks like a pretty good competitive comp. So, but with that being said, I wasn't the largest fan of either of the drafts last time, and both teams kind of proved me wrong with different strengths of theirs. So we'll have to see how this teams decide to play it.
Yeah, and then with that, as the team gets in, we'll just be cutting to a quick video, and we'll be back with Game 2, Fuel Esports versus Albany Esports.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I bust soon, soon. Know as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room, room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. I'm not wondering what we could have been. You were a smile that I couldn't keep. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. can get. Don't let me wander when we go to bed. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. The more I smile that I couldn't get. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Close my eyes, it's not a dream.
And here we are with Game 2, Fuel Esports versus Albany. With Fuel on the right this time, Albany on the left. And Albany already going for a multi-lane wall block. But in the bottom lane, we do have Fuel going for a very strong attack. But what is Albany doing? You just have 1, 2, 3. Everyone's just waiting.
So this is the standard 5-point from Albany, where they hold all 5 entrances of the map, so that they can't be invaded and they know where everyone is at all points. However, you see Fuel's bot lane going for a little bit of a cheese play, where they're going to be sitting in the bush closest to the turret of Albany. Going to be trying to chunk out the first person that walks, likely that Varus, who is sitting in that dry brush right now. And as soon as they get that damage onto him, lane will be a lot easier for them. Now, I have to see if Varus will be able to figure this out, as they did throw the 5-point down, so they should be able to find everyone, especially with a couple bit of their wards, I think they placed.
They should just place up some tents. It just looks like everyone's just going to be camping. Just place up a tent, get a George Foreman grill out, just start making food.
There's a tent emote.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, because camping is a term when you get ganked like a lot of time. Like when the jungler kind of like only ganks your lane.
Oh, okay.
Now you'll see the bot lane of UALBANY is going to be walking together. This Guardian should be able to block a lot of damage, but good Q from Marshall onto the side of that Varus going to be deterring him a little bit, and that's already a little bit of a health win for Fuel. You see Garen just going to be doing a little bit of spinning, but the Jax Counter-Strike is going to be able to beat that out early game. I mean, the Garen doesn't win necessarily early game, but with this D-Shield, with, I assume, second win in his inventory, in his runes,
Most likely.
with his passive, he will be able to heal up pretty much any damage thrown at him. But Boo taking a very aggressive trade in the Carolius. We'll have to see. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think just maybe, Silas with it, both of them actually going the Electrocute as to just get buffed. So, I mean, going for that aggressive trade, trying to burn some pots. As you can already see, Boo had to use his 1 health potion, so lead will already be going towards the side of Albany.
And Ollie, though, just being a menace. Boo not doing very well. Just, the chain's going out, and that's first blood. However, no. They managed to get away just by the skin of their teeth as that turret blasts them. Zan getting a nice quarter of their health taken out by the side of Albany. That bow, just once it hits its mark, it's a problem. HTK might be just chipping away against that Jax, but they're just not going to commit to a duel. It's just too early right now for them to really commit to a fight that will actually be beneficial for either team.
Yeah, they're just going to be playing pretty much safe right now, just trading lightly, but Boo gonna be getting killed right away. You see Carolius predicting the flash of Boo with that chain lash, throwing that Q down, gonna be getting that explosion onto where Boo flashes, and then with the quick flash auto, that's gonna be the first blood going over. And in this lane, Silas getting those early kills is not exactly what you want, as this character will struggle later on into the poke of Ari, but with the early level lead. But you see Craig going for a little bit of a gank onto HK. He might just have to flash out here, as he does. He's just going to use a little bit of a E forward, but he won't be able to get too much, as Zan and Marshall is going to keep applying this pressure on the bot lane. Really taking over this lane after that early trade. I mean, with the picks that they chose, with this MF, with this Karma, they're going to be playing for that lane prio, but Ollie maybe looking for a little bit of play onto the Silas here. Nope, might just be actually backing off, going back to his own blue buff, but the double up from Misfortune, able to chunk out a lot of the Rakan health. Does have that Guardian up, though, so we'll be able to live the next burst of damage quite fine. But Fuel is just going to keep applying this pressure on the bot lane, and that's the only side right now where they're really doing too much. You know, HDK is down quite a bit of CS after having to burn his flash and not having the TP, so he had to walk back to lane. Mid lane's already got killed, right? So on the side of Fuel, but Ollie just gonna get a kill on a gank actually. Didn't quite catch that, but I assume he just dashed over the, or no, not the wall, but he just dashed into it. No flash burned by him, so just going to be able to get a quick kill. And HDK going to be doing some aggressive trading. Shouldn't be able to get a kill here. Jax going to trade back with his health bar, but no mana on the side of Jax. HDK has that Ignite up. He could get a kill if he so pleases, if Jax overstays. But Craig going to get that kill onto Ollie. Ollie deciding to go for the Raptors of Craig, but Craig there to match it. And the Wukong going to get a quick kill onto the Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth going to be going back to the spawn, Craig not allowing Bel'Veth to live in his jungle as much as he did last game, deciding to fight back a little bit, win that with those early brawling capabilities of Wukong. And he's going to be going for a gank from behind here, though the flash burn from Zan just going to able to live. Flash trade for Zan for Rakan. Definitely still a win for Albany, though. No flash on the AD carry.
And already, like, a strong attack from Albany to kind of put Fuel on a back burner retreat, but it's not enough. The Grubs have spawned, so this is where, bad take from Albany to attack HDK on turret range.
He's getting, this is.
Yeah, no, Ollie's coming in.
Ollie here with a gank, though. Yeah, no. Looking back, I mean, Ollie gonna be good flash by Dank Racker on the Jax, able to survive a little bit longer. Ollie will not be winning this, and I think the Jax is about to get a double kill, actually. Ollie might be able to live with these triple dashes, but not exactly what you want from Fuel, as the rest of the map is falling as well. You see Wukong going to be starting up these Grubs. The early objectives going towards UALBANY. The early game going towards UALBANY. A complete different story from last game.
Absolutely. Almost mirroring, actually. If Albany continues this thread and we see like a strong kill increase by Albany, it will be a mirror match.
I'm not watching another throw. I've decided. But
You
no,
just decide you don't want to see throws.
This isn't as big of a lead as Fuel had early game, right? They had they got like 7 kills in for their bot lane.
That is true.
And Ollie was extremely ahead, but still it's doing okay. I mean, CS on the side of Fuel, you're seeing, I think,
I just want to pet them.
The grubs?
Yeah, they look adorable.
Yeah, they're not. They hurt.
I mean, the teeth, probably. Just mind the teeth and the
No,
giant
I mean,
you'll be fine.
You gotta fight them, you know?
Yeah,
already
that's
killed
true.
them, you gotta fight them. Oh, the Rakan not quite hitting Marshall. Gonna be able to dodge that with the speed boost that he has. But I mean, you already see Ollie has about a 15 CS lead. Boo gonna be able to keep a bit even on the CS. Zan having a little bit of a CS lead himself. But really only lead on the side of Albany as far as CS goes is that top lane where HTK is going to be down 30. And that's purely because he took the Ignite, doesn't have that TP to be able to come back after that gank of the Wukong. And he's just going to keep on falling behind. But it's like Fuel with 4 rotate going to be able to take this first Drake, deciding we're not going to give over any Drakes this game.
Yeah, no.
First Drake is ours. We already lost Grubs, so this is the only objective we can get. See Rakan just playing a little bit of vision. You're going to be poking a little bit. Might throw a Q to attempt to steal it. It was never going to steal it, but that's a cute attempt, you know?
It was an attempt. I would have been blown away if it did work,
Yeah.
if it was successful.
Of course, right? But, ooh, HTK, though, looking like he might be getting dove here, though he does have the Garen ultimate. And it looks like he's actually going to 1-for-1. It's a pretty big play for HTK. You know, he gets that shutdown. A little bit of extra 100 gold into his pocket. Ollie able to deter Craig from his own Raptors, able to collect those. And you see Marshall already on the top side. Maybe him and Ollie might be looking for a bit of a match onto this top lane turret from the Silas, who's just going to be backing off, looking for a recall here as you see Rakan also rotating throughout the mid, but Zan's been collecting CS. And we're just going to be back to a little bit of a stalemate. So we wait for the Grubs to spawn, but we see... I don't see much of anything, to be honest. Everyone's just kind of resetting, everyone getting their items. You see pretty even on the jungle, though there is actually quite a lead for Ollie, despite what is being seen.
It is a strong lead, but overall, it is a stalemate until either the next set of Grubs spawn or the next Cloud Drake spawns. Right now, this is the phase of combat where it's tactical preparation and just trying to chip away at each other's defenses until you get an opportunity to really go in and get rid of the key players.
Yeah, going to be looking to burn summoner spells, going to be looking to burn key cooldowns, ultimates now that we're level 6 onwards. See Zan, no flash, no cleanse. I assume Albany's going to be maybe looking towards that side, but Marshall doing a great job deterring them as he's going a bit more of an AP build, deciding he wants to deal the damage, but Craig does have that ultimate, has that flash. Marshall's going to be quick flash out for us, and that's one of the summoners we're talking about, right? They're already burning these summoners quickly from Albany, as they do have a little bit of an advantage on the tempo right now on the map, as you see Belveth's just be invading on the bot side, a little bit of a split map. Craig, though, they kind of want to look for a dive here. You see Silas walking down. There's no match from the side of Fuel, but Zan and Marshall able to read this, just going to walk straight out, but Ollie is going to be losing all of his camps on his bot side, as Ollie's actually taking the same on the top side, but looks like Ollie and Boo are going to be looking for a play onto the Jax on the top lane. And
we're just going to go to standings real quick. As chill right now, 2-0, 2-0 for everybody. As a combat goes on insane, as standings.
No, I think, oh, here we are.
There we go.
Now we see a good pick from the Ollie and Boo. Great gank there. Able to, just able to collapse onto the overpressure of Jax. Jax having to burn his flash. Again, that's a timer they can abuse. They have no flash on the Jax. Zan's flash is back up. His cleanse is up very shortly. However, Craig still has his ultimate. He's probably going to want to play for something here. But the Grub is having just spawned. This should probably be advantage to Albany, though. The Belveth does have a full item completed. It is the strongest character in the game, except for this Silas, who also has one of his own. But to see how each team decides to play around this. Now, Belveth as a character really likes killing these Grubs because she gets bonus stats when she kills Void-type monsters. So, when she kills Void-type monsters, she gets bonus attack speed on her passive.
Oh.
So her passive stacks. Okay, anyways, back to the game though.
Oh, wait.
See a big trade.
Here we go.
They look to try to one-shot the Silas, but with the Ariel, he's going to be able to live. Ollie's just going to fall quickly, and I think Grubs are going to go over to the side of Albany. But anyways, as it's not really necessary anymore as these are gone, but don't know. Yeah, the attack speed, you gain attack speed per monster kill, but when you kill Void type, you get more. And also, your ultimate, you have 2 different forms. So when you take a soul, you get a true form, which then allows you to do dash and things. And then when you kill a Void type monster, you get another version of that, which spawns like Void mites when you kill waves and stuff.
Oh.
So really always looking towards killing those Void type things. That's why I always see them prioritizing these grubs, prioritizing these heralds, but all 6 grubs are going to be falling over to the side of UALBANY as the early game's just going to keep on going towards them. Though there is still just a bit of, there's about a 500 gold lead, sorry, very small. HK maybe looking for a little bit of a trade onto Tank Rockers, but I don't think he's going to win this at this point.
Oh, no, that's...
Oh, actually, good. No, he uses his W to be, which gives him bonus tenacity.
Absolute brutal tenacity, and with Jax on that stun can be extremely brutal. And if you are able to counter, there are ways that Jax can just be nullified to the point where you can swap over them. And with the next dragon spawning, it is now up to both teams to not only get an opening, but shred the other team and leave it. But right now, I do believe it is in favor of UALBANY.
Yeah, it's going to be all eyes on this Drake, probably, as this is just spawned. The Mountain Drake giving those bonus resistances to those who kill it. And looks like Albany should be able to start this up quite quickly, though Ollie going to be dashing forward with that shield move speed from Marshall, though he's not as tanky as most characters are with this amount of gold, but the Rakan getting a triple charm, Wukong ulting nothing, unfortunately. And Boo is going to be able to clean up that Rakan. Ollie taking that form, going to be getting some bonus attack speed, bonus damage as well.
But
and
the first tower does go to Fuel, which is a very strong advantage.
Fuel should be able to get this Drake as well. I mean, it's just a little bit of a waste from Greg after the combo, just using his ult a bit incorrectly, really. So we'll have to see if they decide or what they're going to be able to bounce back here. But Fuel already climbing back into this game, actually taking the gold lead, has 2 Drakes already stacking up. And as we are going into Infernal map, Infernal Soul, we'll be giving bonus damage to everyone. And the focus is going to be on these Drakes, see if Fuel can collect 2 more, or if Albany can start stacking up these Infernals, get that bonus damage, and continue to stack with these comps with the bonus damage going towards the Lethality Varus, going towards the Jax, the Wukong. And also, actually, interestingly enough, the Varus deciding to opt for the Serpent's Fang first, but that doesn't matter when you hit Chains of Corruption onto the enemy squishy support. Gonna get that kill quite easily. Rakan trading flash for Zan's flash again, but Zan's gonna be able to trade right back onto that, get that kill. You know, he is extremely strong. He has a 30 CS lead. He has a kill. He is very strong AD carry at this point. H2K might be looking for a little bit of a trade on to Dank Rackers on this Jax. He does have the ultimate, but Ollie is just caught in no man's land. It looks like H2K might be caught as well, as we see Silas walking towards him, taking the Garen ult for himself. The Silence won't be able to do too much. Good stun, good airborne, and the Garen ult's going to close it off. And Ollie just pushing a little too far forward, you know. H2K maybe also could have just joined up with him, instead deciding to keep trying to chase that Jax. And both are going to fall for it, going to be punished, and the Silas is stacking up. The Silas is becoming extremely fed. This Wukong is becoming extremely fed, and I mean, Albany just...
Everyone's just being fed into everybody.
Albany's climbing right back, but I mean, it's completely even game, really. Right? Very little leads. You got about 1k gold lead in mid, but corresponding a gold lead in top, and bot lane will be a big gold lead for Fuel, but see, as the next objective is the Herald that is on the map right now, and Fuel also is obviously going to be wanting to look for that, as that is a Void-type monster, but with Ollie going a bit more of a squishy build, it's probably going to be going, I don't know, is that Titan? I don't know what this character builds anymore.
The character builds are kind of...
No, I don't play Bel'Veth, unfortunately. But
Bel'Veth, I've never played them, but I've encountered them before, and the builds I've kind of seen is that Bel'Veth either goes for high damage, high magic resistance, or you can do what's known as the magical tank, where they're very tanky, but also their tank and magical resistance.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I mean,
the thing.
I
Bel'Veth
expect-
has some very unique types of builds
Yeah.
from what I've seen personally.
I can imagine. I think he's going towards the. I feel like he's probably going Raven, if not Titanic, just by his build. But we'll see. Looks like Fuel should be giving over this Herald, deciding that maybe it's not in their best interest to contest at this point. The item breakpoints for Albany are insane. 2 items on this Silas already versus 1 item of your Ari. Wukong at Triforce, one of the strongest characters in these skirmishes. Bot lane, HDA. Oh.